I feel like most like stereotypical Irish people are Gryffindors.
It's a harmful stereotype.
I don't feel like we should start yet. Don't talk to people while they poop.
I don't do that though.
Poop faster.
This part's not gonna go in the video because that's gonna be a controversial statement here.
This is not a good review for this movie so far.
I paused it, I made notes, I got up, I came back.
That would be cool. That's a good idea.
But I just like punched my wizard hat.
That was a weird thing to say. Gryffindors make cheap mac and cheese.
It's aggressive.
Are you holding back your fondness to his unmanly blondness?
I couldn't escape.
I think we could probably start.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm recording. I'm recording.
It says it's recording. Hi, I'm Jessica.
I'm Brittany.
And this is Pixie Dust Productions.
Today we are discussing 1940s Fantasia. Rather than a linear story, it is 8 smaller stories set to an orchestra performance. I was expecting it to be similar to like Robot Chicken, if anybody ever is familiar with that from like Adult Swim.
I'm not familiar with it.
I set the bar so low.
I want to say I was like 6 or 7 the last time I saw it, and I remember not liking it as a child. My feelings have only slightly changed. I don't love this movie, and I know like it's a classic, and even if you haven't seen this movie, you've seen clips from it or you've seen merchandise from it. Like it's a very famous movie.
I liked it way more than I expected to. I went into it with such low expectations.
Similar to like Robot Chicken.
But there was a lot of really cool things within the movie. Right in the first section of it, you have the iconic sorcerer Mickey. I've seen the character a million times. I've seen Dancing Brooms a million times. I've never actually seen that story before. So it was really cool to finally see it in the introduction, having that it was like stemming from like some 2,000-year-old legend. And then to see how relatable it was. He wants this convenience, so he takes steps that he's not trained in taking to achieve this convenience. And at first he's happy with himself, and then things kind of spiral out of his control because he was not ready. He's trying so hard to rectify it. It was so relatable when he's trying so hard to fix it, and then he just kind of goes into like this crazy rage and like massacres it. And then his problem gets a million times worse. Like, he did not fix anything. It got so much worse. And I think we've all been there where we try to do something and it backfires. So we try to fix it and it just explodes.
I did put The Sorcerer's Apprentice. That was definitely my favorite short, I guess, among all of these. When the sorcerer like returns, he like Mickey's just so cute. Like the sheepish like face that he makes handing him back the hat. I'm just like, oh, Mickey.
That part where the broom started resurrecting and like the way the music swelled and everything, I'm like, that's kind of terrifying. It was just so well done, I guess, with the swell. Like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was really good. They animated it like perfectly with the music. It was good.
I really enjoyed the Greek mythology segment with Dionysus.
I wrote that down too. Yeah.
I loved
Mount
it.
Olympus scene.
I watched this movie mostly with Sophie, my oldest. She's 8. She's watching it. She's like, why is Zeus so mad at Dionysus? Is it because Dionysus is like telling everybody he made the grapes, but Zeus knows that he couldn't have made the grapes unless Zeus gave him the rain in the first place?
Oh my God.
And I thought it was so funny, and I'm like, yeah, this might just be a battle of credit at this point. But
That's
no.
amazing.
No, I love that she came up with it. I was like, okay, I like it. I mean, of course, she didn't have their names, so they were the white-haired guy and the fat grape man.
The fat grape man.
The fat grape
Dionysus.
Man. Dionysus.
I was excited about the Mount Olympus scene too, mostly because we've been reading the Percy Jackson series, and I'm like, I know who that is.
I know, I loved it. I thought it helped so much.
And then when they showed the black Pegasus, I was like, it's Blackjack. Yep. And apparently it was centaur mating season, by the way. Yeah, they were getting it on.
I was so surprised at the amount of topless women there was in this entire movie, not just in this section, but like in other places within the movie too. I was just like, Disney is known for being so family friendly, so like G-rated, fluffy all the time. What wasn't it like the 70s or 80s when the Rescuers VHS came out? And if you paused it at just the right moment when they were flying by the buildings and you could see the topless woman in the window.
Oh, I just love takeoff.
And they got so much heat for that. And it was barely, you had to pause it at the right moment. You had to try real hard to see it. And this movie before that was just like blatant toplessness all over the place. And that was totally fine. It was acceptable.
Clearly the times have changed, because it's the same thing with all the drinking and smoking in these older films. Like, that would never fly today.
And to prove my point, I submit Exhibit A.
Although they do take a shot in Coco, which is not related to this at all. But one of the other things that I liked was the Nutcracker Suite, just because that's a familiar song to me. I was like, oh, I know this. And the dancing flower scene, it reminded me of the flowers from Alice in Wonderland. And I wonder, like, was that the same animator? Maybe, I don't know.
I think there was so much throughout the entire time, though, where you could see their style developing. Like, they were practicing different types of characters along the way. And it was just really cool to, like, kind of almost see the evolution of that.
So, like the shorts that they put before Pixar movies that are now like they have their own section on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Those are like made so that they can like test out different styles and different technology that's new, and like kind of give animators a chance to like do something bigger to like prove themselves and stuff. So I feel like that's what this whole movie was.
Yes.
They were just like testing things out.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what was going on. Man, the whole thing was just really such a neat artistic situation. Like the very first one, it was like completely abstract. Mm-hmm. And I adored every second of it, because I could see how you could watch that entire section and just see like colors or lights, and it's just a light show and it's totally fine. But when I watched it, there was an entire narrative attached to it. I watched an entire scene play out, like, just because, you know, you have that option when it's abstract, and it was awesome. One of my favorite parts about the entire collection as a whole is that it spans so many different ideologies. It has the Darwinianism right there. It has the battle of Satan in the end, and it has like pagan worship points as well, being like with the Greek gods of mythology and with like the one with the nature fairies. Like, it just spanned so many points of the question, like, where did we come from? And it answered it from everybody's perspective.
Yeah, I think you can really tell like how many people worked on this project and how many different views and theories are out there based on that.
So I did appreciate it for that part.
So while there were a lot of things that I really enjoyed about this movie, there were a lot of things that I really did not enjoy about this movie as well. The one with the scene that was about evolution and the dinosaurs, the first half of it, I found myself zoning out and like getting incredibly bored. And then the second half of it, I found extremely violent and disturbing. And I'm just like, I am not happy right now. I do not enjoy this one bit.
But really, I hated the 7th scene where it was like the weird jungle ballet.
Oh, the hippos with the tutus.
Yeah, I don't think that showed anybody's point of view for creation like so many of the other clips did. Not that it had to.
Here's the thing. If it's not going to have a meaningful message behind it, it needs to be entertaining. And there was nothing entertaining about it. I found myself so bored throughout that part. I wish these would have been made into multiple shorts instead of a 2-hour and 6-minute movie. Maybe I'm just not sophisticated enough, like, to appreciate it, the art and the music, and you know what I mean? Like, maybe it's me. I'm not cultured enough.
Maybe that's it.
You uncultured swine!
You're not supposed to agree. Thanks.
Honestly, like, watching the whole thing straight through is It's a super commitment.
It's not something that small children are going to be able to sit through. I think it's something that'd be nice to have on in the background while you're working or something.
Yeah.
Except for the Sorcerer's Apprentice one. That
one's
is
cute.
Thoroughly entertaining.
It's so cute. Going into sorting our characters is a game that I guess we like to play in all of our videos. And for anyone not familiar, sorting is a concept that comes from the Harry Potter universe, where they put on their wizard hat and they get sorted into a house of their most similar peers. And there are 4 options there. It's basically like, it's the Hogwarts version of the Myers-Briggs personality test.
So who did you sort?
I didn't sort anyone.
You didn't sort anyone? I thought you told me you sorted somebody.
No, you asked if I sorted more than one person, and I did not.
Okay. Why you gotta be a smart ass?
Because I didn't want to ruin it in the pre-record and tell you that I hadn't sorted anyone yet, so I just kept that piece of information to myself for 10 more minutes.
Okay, I'm not sorting Mickey. I'm sorting the Sorcerer's Apprentice. I just want to make that clear. Mickey is the actor that was playing a character. Because Mickey is a Gryffindor, if you know Mickey Mouse.
Okay.
And I feel like, I'm glad. I feel like the Sorcerer's Apprentice was pretty Slytherin, like taking things into his own hands, you know, very resourceful. Yeah, so I give him Slytherin.
I'll affirm that. I'm completely fine with him being Slytherin.
We didn't have much to work with as far as sorting characters, but I wanted to at least give one. So then we come to the moral of the story, which also I feel like it's not a story.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's not really a moral to this story, but there is like a point of focus to this story, and the focus and there's some nonsense in between. There's one that's just a sound bite and you're just watching like the vibrations of sound, which is neat, but obviously that's not a point of focus. So there's some things that don't apply. But I think the point of focus is just answering like the timeless questions of where did we come from, what else is out there, and what is next.
I would agree with that.
And I really like that as a focus. I think that's awesome. Although this movie had snoozable attributes to it, I would say for the most part, it was super captivating. Like, it consisted of a lot of like folklore and like old Bible stories, and that's exactly my style of content. If you're going to give me anything out of the Bible or anything out of like ancient folklore or like, you know, old-timey beliefs, like I love that. That's my absolute favorite type of entertainment.
Yeah, that's definitely you.
I seriously adore it. And as a result, I would absolutely watch this movie again and again. Like, maybe not as a straight through, but I would watch the scenes from this movie like more cherry picked.
Which is exactly why I said it should have been multiple different shorts, and I would have found them a lot more enjoyable, I think, than sitting through a 2-hour movie.
My current list had Pinocchio in number 1 and Snow White in number 2. I am going to bump both of those down. Fantasia is my number 1 standing at this point because I found the concepts throughout it so enjoyable.
I now question your judgment and no longer trust you. And
ouch, that's deep.
We are no longer friends.
I thought for sure our lists were going to be identical still this week, but apparently not. After viewing this movie, I now have put Fantasia in the 3rd place spot on my list. We no longer, 3rd week in, we no longer have identical lists. And I don't know if I like that or not.
Yeah, no, I'm glad about the variety. I'm interested to see how much more it spans from here, because these are going to have to get rearranged so many times over the course of the Disney expanse.
Can you guys go ahead and leave a comment and let us know what your list looks like now? Have you been keeping up with us? What do you think about Fantasia? What do you think about this movie? We would like to include a segment called Magic Mail, where we read your questions and comments and just kind of respond to them. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would really love for that to happen.
Yeah, so go find us on Facebook and Instagram. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And then last month in our Facebook group, we put up a poll to see which movie you guys preferred, Pinocchio or Snow White. And the winner was, that's your cue, Brittany.
Pinocchio! Everyone who participated had the same list as us up until that point. So now that we have conflicting lists, I am super excited to see how the Facebook poll changes with everybody else's opinions in regard to that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, find us on Facebook and answer that poll. And then next month's movie is going to be The Reluctant Dragon, which can be found on Disney Plus. So for April, you guys find that movie and you can join in on our discussion about that one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is staying home because of all the virus fears anyway. You might as well watch The Reluctant Dragon with us. You have no excuse. You're not busy and you're not somewhere else.
Perfect. All right, guys, we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.